Hello everyone, I-80386SX is going to talk about the Compaq Diagnostic Partition, or some weird things it may do. Now, I've been racking my brain for 3 days on trying to build one for a customer, and I finally figured it out. The DOS that I was using to partition a hard drive would do one of two things. Would either broach the diagnostics partition or corrupt it, or it would do something to the master boot record where it couldn't be read, or the partition would just disappear outright. I had this issue on LTE Elite, Conturas, probably Concertos if I would have tried it with the same thing, or the same set of discs. It's just something to watch out for. When you see flashing rectangle, don't assume it's working. And I originally thought that the issue stemmed from using the CF cards with that diagnostic partition. It might not liked it. Okay, whatever. Nope. Because I even putzed around with one of these. Good old spinning rust. Same thing. Press F10. Well, I'll show you. But first thing is first, we're going to do a CF card. And this can be done on any modern Windows. I have a USB to CF card reader. This is Windows 11. So we're going to go to disk part. We want to make sure this disk is clean. And there we are. So we're going to select disk 1. And I'm doing this one freehanded, so I hope it doesn't affect our video. And we're just going to clean it. This will wipe the drive. Now, you may say this access is denied. I know this breaks every rule. This breaks the definition of insanity, but trust me, just do it again. There you go. Pull the drive. Okay, so we're going to try this from a VGA to USB device, and we're going to see how this goes. So I am going to turn on the Compaq LTE Elite right now. And it should boot to absolutely nothing. If you haven't already, make sure you have the... oh, that's no good. That's not the way it's got to go. Oh, there we go. But make sure you've ran SP2054EXE on a 32-bit system. That'll make 2 diskettes. That'll make your diagnostic disk and your setup disk. So at this time, you want to input one of them into the machine. Like I said, I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but come high water, we're going to try it out. And you'll be greeted by this message. This part's pretty standard when you're dealing with one of these machines with this unfortunate diagnostics partition on it. And now we get the rectangle as we should. But we're not done yet. Another disclaimer, the laptop I'm using to do the screen capture is very vanilla. And okay, so you want to go ahead and restart. You just do that by pressing OK. I'm using an old HP EliteBook 2760p to do this capture. i3, Intel, basic as you can get, but it was built for portability. So, what are you going to do? So this will be phase 3 of 3, I believe. And it's going to verify that both of your disks are in place. And this will take a little bit. This is very interesting, right? If you took this off of another relevant machine, like if you borrowed or made diagnostic diskettes from, say, a Contura or a Concerto with new enough software on it, it's pretty much the reverse of that. In theory, you want to, this should just be all you have to do, and then install your OS. Now, let's just make a hypothetical situation. If you installed your OS already, and you run these disks outright to try to do this diagnostic partition, under normal circumstances, you're too late, you gotta start over. If you're lucky, you can take something like Partition Magic, carve out, I don't know, 8 megs of hard drive space at the beginning of the drive or so. You should be able to make your diagnostic partitions. Although I've never tried it that way, so I don't know how well that would work. You can copy, but I don't know how well it's gonna actually work in the terms of pressing F10 and having your OS coexist. Fun times. And you can make these disks using a USB floppy drive, an XP. I even think you can get away with it on a Windows 7 machine. Could be wrong. Alright, easy enough. So in theory, if we press F10, we should be able to get into the BIOS. Now I know you can't see me having no disk in the drive, but I think you can tell by how fast it loads. Uh-oh. That's not good. Yeah, there we go. Now I got it this time. I may have just missed it. But as you can tell, it loads considerably faster. And I'm getting weird lines. I don't know if that's going to translate over to the recording or not, but you can mostly see it. And there you go. So, step 1 is done. F10 works accordingly to procedure. And if you don't drop your disks in the process like I did, you're going to be installing your OS next. Now these are original DOS diskettes 6.22 that we're going to be loading off next. So now you saw that the F10 did work. Yeah, the rectangle just doesn't show up on the capture, but it does show up on my screen, so. I don't know if there's a way to align that or not, but anywho, we're going to do the old F3. I don't know if that did anything or not, but we shall see. In theory, everything is going according to script. And you know, the standard stuff, you create your DOS partition, go ahead and make her active, and restart the system. Yeah, it's not showing the rectangle on mine, but that's alright. Format CS. And pretty straightforward. It's a CF card. Now watch this make a liar out of me. Let's restart the machine. F10 has been pressed, and this is what it does. Let me see if I can get that rectangle to show up. I'm not going to be able to promise anything, but there is absolutely, the rectangle is supposed to show up. So let me see what I can do and show you demonstrating the F10 being pressed. Okay, so I did take a look at the recording, and I have determined that you do see a little bit of that rectangle. So I'm just going to keep going and go from there. Now, the bad news is, if this does happen, you're going to have to start over. But the good news is, you're not screwed. It's very, very simple, actually. So I will show you that right now. Okay, so you should be able to solve this problem pretty easy if you've got one of those DOS disks that do what you just saw there, where it'll boot off of the active partition regardless. You'll want to head over to old bootdisk.com here, and you may have to ignore some of the questionable at best pop-ups. Click on either like DOS 6.22 or Windows 95. Either, they're all good here. So we're going to click on DOS 6.22, and there you go. Now, I do have a disk that's already prepared, so I am going to use that for this demonstration. I don't remember if it's Windows 95 or DOS 6.22, but it is one of those that I downloaded from this website. So I'm going to wipe my drive. We'll go through it again, and we'll continue on to the point where I have the diagnostic partition installed. So, okay, I'm going to show you something here. Right now we're still in the floppy. And show you how long it actually takes to load off of a floppy versus the hard drive. Beyond the point that it looks like crap. That's probably why this capture device was so inexpensive. And you can probably hear it in the background with the floppy going. So we're going to exit. And we're going to exit now. We don't need to wait for that, right? Oh, now the cursor showed up. Weird. Okay, whatever. But let's go into it quick just to compare notes. Still looks like hot trash on my screen. But notice it took a lot less time. We're also missing a button for some reason, but who gives a rip? Alright, exit from utility. Now we're going to put in our boot disk from bootdisk.com. Bye-bye. This is indeed a DOS boot disk. And to show you that this is indeed a boot disk from bootdisk.com, if you notice, it is a very interesting set of colors, which is hardly anything but default. It references a banana driver, which you only see on bootdisk.com. So let's go do FDISK. Same thing. Just going to do the defaults, make it active, reboot, format, and see what happens. And OBS Studio is one kind of annoying. Ahead and do that, and nothing special there. Control Delete. Well, let's see how it goes. I'm going to boot to the OS first, and it should ask for time of date. That should be fine. Okay, so that is according to plan. I did not press F10 that time, like I said. This time I will press F10. And look at that. Beautiful. So, yeah, if you run into a situation where you have a Compaq Diagnostic Partition that all of a sudden just doesn't work, unfortunately you're likely starting over on that hard drive, but you probably could back up that partition to somewhere and just do it the way I just did. So SP2054EXE, use those floppies, and a DOS boot disk from bootdisk.com. I can't believe that I wasted how many days on this? 3 days trying to figure that out. So I feel stupid. I record this so you don't have to. So said I have no idea how this capture device is actually going to work once I get this all said and done. So if it looks like crap, I'm sorry. Looks fine on the original display, of course. So yeah, so one little annoyance that I discovered with the DOS installation disks, very interesting. So again, this will work for the LTE Elite, any of the Contura, Aero, the 400 series, the Concerto, the Armada 1100, and the Armada 4100. They'll all likely have the same exact problem if you use a boot disk with that FDISK that, I don't know if it just wipes the master boot record or something, but there you go. That's the way around it. So that's going to be it for now. This video is going to be very interesting to put together. As always, if you have any questions or comments or even any constructive criticism that you want to throw my way here, or even capture devices that work a little bit better than this, it's a red one, this F10. And I'm probably mispronouncing that all over the place. But yeah, let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, comments, constructive criticism, all that fun stuff. So, as always, thank you for watching.